Hello, hello. Welcome to another interview with one of my amazing clients. And this one is super special. You're about to find out why. His name is Giovanni Guzman. For those of you that don't speak Spanish, is Guzman. And the reason he is so special is because he is my son. This is my oldest son. I'm super, 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 super proud of him. And we wanted to have this conversation today. We wanted to just share some of the things. As a mom, I'm super proud, but pride doesn't add money to his account. His work has added money to his account, and I'm super excited to speak to him, have a very down-to-earth conversation with him so that he could share some of the things that have changed for him, have shifted for him, so that he can make the kind of money that he's making right now. And what I'm going to say before I give the mic to you, Giovanni, is I'm going to let the people know Giovanni doesn't make money in the online space. Giovanni's not an online person, even though he's young. He's not on the internet streets because Giovanni has a job where he goes to work and he doesn't have time to be on Facebook. So this interview is, I know I'm going to cherish it because Giovanni doesn't know internet lingo or business coaching lingo. He's just a guy who is in a hybrid sales position, which means he's salary plus commission. And based on what he's going to share with you, his entire sales game has changed. So welcome, Giovanni.
Hello, thank you for having me.
How are you feeling? You feeling good?
Feeling great. Feeling good.
Feeling great?
Mm-hmm.
A little nervous?
Nah, we'll see.
Okay, good. So let's just start with what everybody likes to know, because when I interview people want to know, well, how much money did he make? Well, Giovanni added $25,000 to his to his salary, his sales commissions. Yes?
Correct. Yes.
In 2023. So let's go with, normally at this point, I ask my clients, so where were you when you came to me? What brought you to me? But that's not where you were. You're my son. We talk all the time.
Correct.
So what I do know, I'm going to tell my side and you correct me, or you go, no, mom, this is it. I want to say that you used to just call me whenever you made a sale.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. So you were calling me whenever you made a sale because you were like, mom's going to be happy.
Mom does this for a living, want her to see what I'm doing out here. And, okay. What kind of changes can I do?
Okay. So yeah. I remember one particular conversation. It was about getting people pre-approved.
Yes.
Or people are not wanting to get pre-approved because they're already saying whatever they were saying. And I was like, well, it's in the way that you position it, Gio. If you say to them, hey, if you already let them know, not everybody gets approved. So if you already right, because before it was in the way you were presenting it, like, oh, I didn't get approved. Well, your credit sucks. You should have known you were going to get approved, right?
Correct,
we can't say that. So if we positioned it as, hey, most people, actually, it doesn't work for, but the pre-approval doesn't cost you anything, or da-da-da-da. To me, that was one of the first conversations where you learned, if you position it, if you say it differently, people will take you up on it, and immediately the next family, they didn't even want it. They just said, forget it. We're just going to pay in full.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, one of the things that I love about you is that whenever I give you something to tweak, you go and you try it on your very next sale.
Yes.
What would you say? I just want you to explain from your own words. Any sales, any other particular examples where you were like, I did this and I just tweaked that and it changed the game for me?
I mean, I think that the biggest takeaway from that initial conversation was that you kind of set the expectation on credit applications so that the customer already knows that they may or may not be pre-approved. But I also lay out several other options in the event that they're not approved so that they kind of know the expectation versus getting their hopes up that I might get this, 12 months same as cash. And then when I don't get it, well, I don't want to hear the rest because the disappointment's already settled in. I kind of set the preference up front so that they know that if we don't qualify on this basis, there's other options here that we can approve you and still move forward with the sale.
I love that. I love that. That's big because it's knowing what to say to me is what I do for my clients. Like my clients are great. They know their products, they know their service, but it's like knowing what to say, understanding how the human brain works, understanding what the other person is feeling. Another thing that I was a great conversation when I gave you the example of the people who buy the Bentley and the people who buy the Toyota
Correct.
and the high ticket buyer, why they buy. Is there an example that you can share with us where you implemented, where you knew I'm selling to a high end buyer here? I don't have to do all this other stuff.
Yeah, I think when you understand the customer, you kind of understand the needs that they want. And so a high end customer not necessarily makes those decisions based off of the cost of whatever I'm selling, but they're buying into the service and the relationship that I'm offering them. Is the biggest takeaway that I've noticed between someone that's a high end client versus someone that's your, everyday buyer.
Mm-hmm. And like an everyday buyer, we're not even, people can read into that with it, right? So the high end person probably lives in a different neighborhood because what do you sell?
I sell water softeners and water
Water stuff.
filtration, reverse osmosis, things
Okay.
of that nature.
So we know when we go into a particular neighborhood, or based on the cars that are in the driveway when we pull up, on based how the person is dressed when they come to the door, like who we're dealing with, right?
Correct.
So you've had clients that have shared cigars with you, spoken, showing you their super
Car collection
car
or
collection,
aquarium and stuff like that.
yeah, like insane, like
Yes.
yeah, super big homes. So recently you told me that this was the person during Christmas time. We had a conversation where you were like, it's slow, it's Christmas time, people don't buy. And then we had a conversation. Tell me about that conversation.
I think I was just frustrated because I felt like people don't purchase or make high-end purchases during Christmas due to, Christmas shopping, traveling, just other expenses that come during the holidays.
And what
I
did
like
I
to call
say?
it the slow season.
And what did I say to you during that conversation?
You basically told me that is a weak mindset to have, and that that's just another challenge to overcome. And we had a conversation about how to address that challenge. And maybe 2 or 3 days later, I go ahead and make a near $20,000 sale.
Right. And so what I loved was that even in that sale, when you called me to tell me about it, you were actually surprised that the buyer, your customer, they didn't haggle, right?
Correct.
And you were like, Mom, I gave them the price, they didn't haggle. And I was like, hey, let me reframe you. High-end people, we don't haggle. We buy what we want because
Correct.
we see the value in it. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to fight our guy for $500 or $1,000 less because we understand that the person selling me is making commission.
Correct.
So we don't haggle. Like, how was that when I said to you, babe, don't even say haggle anymore. Say the person didn't even negotiate. Because I'm not saying that high-end people are not going to negotiate the best rate or the best price on certain things, but this particular man, he saw the value, right? And said
Correct.
to you,
Yes.
introduced you to his wife, and it was like, I look forward to, and they shared things about their travels and their country,
And their business and stuff like that. Yes.
right? And so there was a big connection because they're from an island in the Caribbean. You're Puerto Rican, right? So there was all this relatability, right? All this rapport.
Correct. Just the dynamic.
And that dynamic allowed for trust to be built.
Correct.
And up until we broke it down, I mean, you kind of knew that, but you were like, whoa, that's fantastic how that happened.
Yeah.
And it's not manipulative. It's not that you're looking for people who come from the islands to try to build rapport with them. And right, because I love the way that you sell with integrity. You don't sell people things like, who can I sell something to? You literally go into their home and you see that this thing that they have is old, it needs to be replaced.
Correct.
And so the average person that buys from you is a homeowner. Yeah.
Yes.
A
Yes.
homeowner. What are homeowners interested in doing for their family?
You know,
Buying your product.
the benefit is that they're protecting their home, protecting their pipes, protecting their appliances. They're giving their family, especially women, soft water that feels good for their hair, feels good for the skin. You know, it prevents eczema, prevents breakouts, just a plethora of different benefits that having soft water into your home provides.
Right. So, I mean, everybody should have soft water in their home, but everybody's not your customer.
Correct.
You know, oh my God. Just the other day, I had a guy knock on the door and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is whatever his name was." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Hey, I just installed a water system at next door." And in my head, I'm like, "You're a liar," because that's what the last guy said. And he was with another company. So I know you didn't install anything over there because these houses are new. There's no way you installed something over there. But that's what they say when they knock on the door. And I know that you don't do door-to-door sales, but I said to him, "Hey, no thanks. My son works at such and such company, and I have a system through them." And he was like, "Oh, so it's installed already? Because I want to show you, like, if you're comparing apples to oranges." And so I said to him, "Listen, I'm not going to buy a system from you. I don't need you to test my water, but can I share a piece of advice with you?" And he was like, "Okay." I said, "You don't have to knock down what the person already has, because even if you did come in here and test my water and it was horrible with the system that I have, I just bought this. I'm not going to uninstall it and buy yours."
Correct. Yeah.
So I was like, so just because you knocked on doors and then the person shut you down, you don't need to tell them that what they have in their home is poop. You don't have to talk down about it. You're like, "Hey, well, I'm so glad that you have good water. Hey, if you ever change your mind, here's my card. A couple years down the line, love to have your business, even if I throw the card away."
Yeah. Yeah.
But such a different way, right, than to just talk crap about, you don't even know what I have in here.
Correct.
And so you and I talk about these things, and I'm like, "Giovanni, this is what you say. You don't say this. Always end, even if the person doesn't get approved, even if the person cannot finance, always end that with, leave a bridge open, because the relationship is what matters." How many times in the last year can you think off the top of your head, people who called you from a conversation you had a while back?
Several times. I mean, just the other day, I had a customer that, he was remodeling a home and he wasn't ready to make that decision just yet. And, we had a phenomenal conversation over the phone and I gave him my contact info. And almost 7 months later, he reached out to me to finalize that. And that just felt really amazing that he still, had my information, that he kept his word, and that he reached out to me so that I can take care of what he wanted.
And I love that. And the reason he kept his word is because you guys, in his mind, he has a relationship with Gio. He's not going to go call some other guy that, who knows, just wants to stick him with something that he doesn't need. Yeah. He trusts that Gio is going to take care of him. Yes. So I always tell my clients that client creation, sometimes we can create a client like this. We go to their house, they need something, but sometimes it takes a relationship to build a client, and relationships are built slowly. Like this guy waited 7 months.
Yeah.
But the impression that you made on him was a wonderful one. What would you say is the biggest shift that has happened for you in order for your sales to be exploding? Because please share, like, the position that you have is not truly a field sales, right? So like most of the people in your position, they don't sell.
Yeah, they don't.
And so you're doing more sales than, please say it.
I hold several titles in the Southeast region within my company.
And you're in Florida. So correct. You're selling more than people in other states, right?
In my role.
In your role. And we're just going to say it, because you're not an office salesperson. Some of the people in the office, they don't like that.
It comes with the territory.
They don't like that. You're getting a little hate.
It happens.
It happens, right? And I tell you all the time, I'm like, oh, Giovanni, you need to go somewhere where you're 100% full
All the
commission only so
all
you
the
can
time.
dictate, right? But
Yes.
it's taken like these 2 years for you to understand, like, I really can sell a product that I believe in.
Yeah.
Because it's not about selling something that you don't know about. Like, you really believe that this helps people. So I think it's
Correct.
really important for people to sell what they are an expert at, what they believe in. And you do that. What is
Yes.
the, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. I
What
was
is the
agreeing.
biggest thing that you can share with us that has been the biggest shift for you that has allowed you to like take off with your sales?
I think the biggest shift is that working with high ticket clients and not projecting my own experiences or my own way that I view money with these customers, because that kind of fear is then put onto them. And if I don't believe in what I'm doing, then they're not going to feel the confidence in me and purchase with me. So just with the amount of sales that I've done, it's just allowed me to view and respect money in a different way
In your own personal life.
in my own personal life. Yes.
So what we call that money mindset, right? It has
I've heard you say
expanded.
it before. Yes.
Your money mindset has expanded. In your personal life, since your money mindset has expanded, what are some results that you've had in the past 6 months because of the way that you view money has changed?
You know, I don't fear spending money anymore. I see things that I feel are an investment towards my life, towards my other businesses that I have within photography that and I'm not afraid to spend the money because I know that this is going to elevate me to that next step. And I know that I'm constantly surrounded by money and I know how to make money. And so I look at, a $2,000 or $3,000 item and I don't hesitate, or I don't say, I'll get it in 2 or 3 months. I know that I'm worthy of it. I purchase it, and I know that that confidence transitions into other areas in my life, including sales.
Man, I love that. You said so much. I'm worthy of it. I know that I don't have to wait. Like, this is so interesting because we don't go around thinking, I feel worthless. I'm not worthy. We don't think those things consciously,
No.
right? But it was like having conversations with me. How does it feel when obviously I'm your mom and you're respectful, you don't disrespect me, but we don't ever have conversations where you have to like hang up the phone or whatever, but we have conversations that are difficult for you to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had some.
Yeah.
And in those conversations after the fact, would you agree that that's where the transformation happens, when you are open to receiving that little thing that, man, I didn't like hearing that, but there's some truth in that?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Uh, I think that even within our conversations about sales, there's always a piece that's interpersonal that I can reflect upon, and I can say, wow, I can do that differently in my life, or I can view things differently in my life that has also impacted me to grow essentially.
Grow, essentially. um Man, and this is not that I don't want you to disclose super deep personal um details, but just last December, not this one right here, the
Oh
year
yeah.
last December, you were ending a relationship, and I saw you go through, the pain of ending that relationship, and then the realization of mourning what you thought that the relationship was, but it never was, or what you wanted it to be.
Hmm.
And during that time, like, you went through your wilderness moment, like, like you were like, the little cloud was raining over you only,
Yeah, yeah.
and things were not emotionally amazing and financially, and but man, that was last January, and here we are in January. So many things have happened. You have made more money than you have with your commission sales. You have uh you now have your own place. That's amazing. You have attracted and magnetized a wonderful relationship with an emotionally intelligent young woman. It's I there's no stress. You don't call me to tell me anything stressful about this relationship.
No.
So many things, like you've invested into your photography business. And I'm talking about $3,000 lens and another camera and your Mac, like that's
Yeah,
huge, right? And I love that because in a year, so much you fix your credit,
debt free.
debt free, and
Yeah,
that credit score is up there, right? And you're 33.
correct. Yeah,
I First of all, I'm your mom, so I'm super proud of you.
thank you.
You're welcome. And second of all, how has this shift and this change within your whole life? How is it spilling over into coworkers, how they view you, or interpersonal relationships? How are those relationships benefiting?
Um, wow. Not so much at work. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say that, but just within just my friends or in my relationship, or even with you, I'm able to have these conversations, and I welcome them. I don't come into them with hesitation. Um, I like to look at myself and just the things that you tell me. Um, I take them and I really study and I look into myself and I say, wow, rather than be combative or no, that's not me. I welcome change. I think that the biggest takeaway is that the older that I get, the quicker time goes, and a year is a week. So much has changed, and so you can do a lot in a year, or you can let a year go by and look back and just you were stagnant and you were stale, you didn't do anything. And I think that's my biggest takeaway, that just it's not impossible to set goals and then crush them. And I know this sounds very, Tony Robbins or Linda Hales, but it's amazing that when you apply yourself and you really believe in the changes day to day that you make, that they are producing results. And to just take time to understand your results and be proud of yourself.
Mm,
That feels amazing.
it feels amazing. You worked for it. You earned it. It's all yours. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
It makes me get teary eyed.
Oh, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do it.
And here's what I'm going to share for the people that are watching. If I had given Giovanni $25,000, he'd have it in his bank account. And he may go through it real fast and whatever, but he would not have learned the 20 something minutes that he's been talking. He would not have gained that knowledge. He would not have developed his character. He would not have grown his sales skills. And this is why you should want the result, not because the result is amazing, but because of who you become in order to get that result. Right? So like knowing how to make 10% sales. So that's like you brought in an extra $200,000 in sales. They're giving you 25,000 of it. And
Yeah.
it's like, if I had just given you $25,000, you would not have learned how to talk to high-end clients. You would not have learned the psychology of sales. You would not have learned what to say. You would not have learned how to develop a true relationship. Of course, I'm selling you something. We can still have a relationship,
Correct.
right? So that to me is what I would love the entire world to get. That what you said was fire. Yo, the older that you get, a year feels like a week. You wake up and it's December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look back on your life, you're like, fuck. Every year I was just repeating the same year. I felt stuck. I had dreams of being and doing other things, but I just never took off. But then once it clicks for you, you're like, look at all the things I was able to achieve in a year.
Yes.
That. And unfortunately, or fortunately, you can't get that unless you go through that trajectory of learning and growing and being frustrated and disappointed and coming back from it and closing another sale and viewing yourself different and knowing that you are worthy. Because you right here, right now, you said, I am worthy. And I know that you will never not just not make money because you know how to make your own money now. Like you know how to print money with your own sales. But in your personal life, you are worthy. You are, I can tell from the new relationship that you're in. Like you're never going to go back to, oh, let me settle for anything in my life because I'm worthy of the exact thing that I want. That's powerful. That's fire, Giovanni. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share today? Or like you were like, I hope mom asked me this because I'm ready to say this. Is there something that you wanted to share that we didn't cover?
No, I think we touched everything. This was an awesome experience. I was afraid to get on the camera. I don't do the live stuff with you like this, but this was really fun.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you don't do live any. You're not the average young person that's crushing social media. You're like, no.
No,
I
chill.
love it. You did great. You did
I
great. I saw
appreciate
your cheeks get really red at the beginning. You know, you were kind of you were kind of nervous, but this is good. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you. I can't wait to see what this year holds. I mean, I know what this year holds. Do you feel comfortable sharing with people what you're trying to do this year, what you're the pivot that you're trying to make, or no,
We'll,
you don't
we'll
have
we'll
to.
save that for the next interview.
Oh wow!
Mhm.
For somebody who does not do interviews, like we're doing another interview. Okay, so we're gonna
We'll
save that
save
for
the
the
next
next.
one.
All right, then, for the follow up to be continued.
There we
Thank you
go.
so much. I love you.
I love you too, Mom. Thank you.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
And for those of you that were here just now, let me know how this interview touched you, helped you. You got any questions, put them below. I will slide in your messenger and ask you, why are you not working with me yet? Because I ain't scared to make a sale. Anyway, have a great day.